Hi, everyone. I am not available to be live, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got something during my live time slot. And when I was at the NAMTA show, I found this awesome product, Jesmonite. So I'm going to share the video I did of Maddie using this product. She is with the company, and you are going to love this product. So here we go. I'm going to start the video with her.
I'm Maddie. I'm with FTC Creative. We're here at NAMTA Creativation, and I'm just going to walk through our products. Jesmonite AC100. It's a super fast-setting eco-resin, solvent-free, low in VOCs, and water-based, and it's going to set in about 20 to 40 minutes. So unlike other epoxy resins, fast-setting, and you also don't need anything to help cure it. It just sets up all on its own. And you don't need any respirators. We make it in our kitchen. It's not going to release any of those harmful gases or fumes. So it's safe for anyone to use. Right here, I have my two-part system. So I have my powder base, and this is a gypsum powder. And then this is our acrylic polymer liquid, and we're going to mix the two, and it's a 2.5 to 1 ratio. So for example, if I have 250 grams of my powder base, I'm going to have 100 grams of my liquid. And then how I mix these two together, how I mix these two together is I'm going to add my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients, as I like to say, kind of like baking. And I'm going to do it in about, this is enough for me to do half and half. Sometimes I like to do thirds or even fourths, just to make the process a whole lot smoother and my mixture is not as bumpy that way. So I'm going to do half in. And then you don't have to use a mixing blade. You can mix this by hand. I just love to use my mixing blade. It kind of speeds the process up a lot and helps, again, alleviate those bubbles and lumps and bumps in our mixture. So I'm going to do this real quick. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the rest in. And the texture I'm looking for is the same consistency as like a super runny pancake batter, like what I like to say. Perfect. And this is kind of the consistency we like to see in it. Super smooth and just kind of slightly more runny than your normal pancake batter. On my mixing blade, you can see that it's metal. Jesmonite only loves to stick to everything except for silicone. So I'm going to rinse this off right away in my settlement tank. We don't want to rinse this down our sinks because it can get stuck and still will set in water. And we don't want our sinks to clog. Your plumbers will love that, but you won't. It won't be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. I have a two-part bucket system over here. One with just normal water and then one with soapy water. You can eat perfect. And that's right here. And so I'm going to have one quick initial rinse right here. And then in here as well. And then, I'm not great at keeping my blade super clean, but you get the gist of it. And so for my settlement tank, I will let that sit in there for about a day or two to let everything solidify. And then I'll dump the top water off and then I'll scoop out the rest, what's left in the bottom of my bucket. And sometimes I can reuse that as zero waste. And then sometimes it's a little too thick to reuse. So then I unfortunately have to throw it away. But overall, it saves your drains and you a whole lot of money as well for your time. Okay, perfect. And so you're going to do purple. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add in just one drop probably. And traditionally, I would probably have added this to my liquid first. I just kind of got a little carried away there and excited. But I probably would have colored my liquid first if I'm trying to have that more custom color, just so I'm not trying to tweak that color while my set time is going. That's why we do our liquid first most of the time. That looks really cute, like a cute, like grapey purple. Is that perfect? Okay, good. Okay, cool. So I'm going to set that down here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure I have all of this liquid wiped off so it's not discolored when I pour it out. And I'm going to pour just a bit in first. And I'm going to do what I like to call a gel coat, where I pour in a little bit, about half or a third of my mixture, and then I go ahead and tap it out and kind of cover. Oh, stuck my finger in there. And I kind of just cover the walls of it just to make sure that I have no bubbles in the surface of my project. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and coat every little surface as much as I can. And you can kind of see the bubbles already coming up a little bit. That's what we're trying to avoid. Perfect. And I'm going to tap a little bit more. Make sure it's over here. Perfect. And so then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more in. It's like we've moved it. Perfect. And I'm going to keep tapping. And I love to tap as much as possible, honestly, just to avoid any bubbles. I don't like bubbles in my project, but you know, if you do get some bubbles, it's totally fine. That's just kind of part of it sometimes. And you can always sometimes sand those out depending on where they are to help get rid of them as well. But you can also use vibrating plates. I've used a Theragun before to just like, if I have a larger mold, just to help get those bubbles in those super deep crevices. I'm just watching. Perfect. And then I'm going to take a silicone spatula and just get the rest out right here. And I'm pouring from a height to help let those bubbles pop on their way down as well. So I like to pour from about 5 to 10 inches above my mold, just so the Jesmonite doesn't create more bubbles layering on top of it. So. Perfect. And I'm flicking, and so you can see the bubbles kind of get caught right here. I'm just going to tap those out to make sure they go away. And you can kind of see them come up on the sides. I'm going to pinch my stem of this feather real quick to make sure. And we're going to keep tapping for a little bit longer. Serious tapping. Ooh. And Jesmonite EC100 is not self-leveling, and so that's another reason why I tap a lot, is to just make sure that it's all even on the bottom and it's not an uneven surface where your tray or your project is not going to be rocking back and forth on itself. Perfect. And I think this is about it. And I want to make sure I'm not overfilling it again, so we have that even surface. Because if I overfill it sometimes, again, then it's a little wobbly. And when I was first making, I had a little bit of problems with that, but I figured it out pretty easily. And that's just me being overexcited too. And cool. And so now I'm going to let this sit for about 20 to 40 minutes just to let it solidify and heat up and have that exothermic reaction where it releases all that moisture. And then you can see that I have a little bit of extra material going on in here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread this around the sides to create kind of a thin layer along the walls here. And this is what I like to call my terrazzo timer. And when this is ready and all hardened, I can crush it up and it creates little tiny terrazzo pieces that I can then add in future projects. And I'll show you that when we are demolding. So now our product our project has fully cured, not fully, but it's hardened enough where we can demold it. And how I know is I can crunch this and it all falls off into terrazzo pieces just like that. And so that tells me my project I can take out and safely, and it won't break or anything. This just breaks because it's a little small, but these pieces are cool because you can add them back into other pieces and it will create this cool terrazzo effect where we also have zero waste. So we love that as well. So now I'm going to demold it, and how I demold is I'm just going to go ahead and start loosening the edges, and you can kind of seal, you can see how the suction kind of releases there, and you can see the color kind of changes a little bit, and you can see the air pockets forming underneath. And so I'm going to loosen the edges all around to make sure that it comes out super easily and clean. Perfect. And so I'm going to start on this end now, and I'm going to just lift up that mold just slightly, and I'm going to peel from one end to the other. And then for the stem area, I'm just going to slide it out, and here we have it. So cute. And that was about 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago, I'd say. And so it's super quick and it's cured. It's going to finish curing for about 24 more hours, but after that 24 hours, you can go ahead and seal it. You don't have to seal it, but just to add that extra level of protection, I do kind of recommend sealing. The sealers will also help enhance that color too, so it helps make it pop just slightly. But yeah, super good. I'm going to go ahead and hit this bottom lip area with a sanding sponge just because it's a super fine material and we don't want anyone to get cut sometimes because it will mimic that lip of the mold right here, and it can kind of create some paper cuts sometimes. I've been paper cut a little bit. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to get a sanding sponge and just knock out down that edge. But other than that, it doesn't need to be sanded at all. It's ready to use.
That was so cool. And I came home with that piece and I put some iridescence paint just to show off those raised edges. This is such a cool project and product. You're going to want to check it out. Remember to like, comment, and share with the hashtag Bella Crafts to enter for this week's giveaway. And until next time, take some time to craft because it's good for your soul.